getting ready for a playoff series?
Yeah, it's tough. It's really hard. It's frustrating. It's kind of look back and it feels like yesterday I started here, and to be 3 years into my career and yet to really made the impact that I'd like. It's frustrating for sure.
Jack, the season started badly, and you guys dug a hole and never got out of it. I mean, how
Yep.
important the lessons you learned of these threes? You're going to have to start well next year to give yourselves a chance.
No, you're right. I mean, you look at a lot of the teams in the league that are top the standings, and a lot of the teams that are in the playoffs now. Majority of them, like you said, had good starts and came out, in October and got off to the right start and kind of never looked back. And when you dig yourself a hole, it's definitely tough. I mean, you lose a few games early in the year, you start questioning a lot of things that you do, and like you said, then you're trying to dig yourself out the whole year, and we were just never able to get ourselves out of the hole, I guess, and it just seemed like we'd play a good game, we'd feel good about ourselves, we'd play a good few games, feel good about ourselves, and then there'd be like a 1 or 2 game, 3 game lapse, and then you're back questioning yourself again, and that's I think that's the thing we need to change. I mean, you look at our year, I think, with some of the wins we had and some of the games we did play against really good hockey teams, and whether it's on the road, whether it's coming from behind, I thought there were some really good moments, but consistently it just wasn't there. And you look at maybe some of the games, that maybe we weren't playing against the best team, or there wasn't the most at stake during that game. I thought maybe we didn't come ready to play, and I think that's on us, and it's something that we need to change. I mean, you look at the best teams, they bring it every night, and I think we bring it when we're playing against good teams because we know we have to, and maybe we're playing a team that isn't as high up in the standings, and we're not maybe we're not as focused, we're not as engaged in the game, and that's where we fall.
When you said you haven't made the impact that you'd like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, we obviously haven't made the playoffs. Yeah, we haven't been in a playoff push or in contention. I mean, last year we went into bye week, I think, a point out, but other than that, I mean, you want to be playing the meaningful games at the end of March and the beginning of April. I mean, that's what's exciting. I mean, when there's something on the line every night, it makes coming to the rink, coming to the practice, morning skate, it makes it that much better. And when you put yourself out of it, a lot earlier than you'd like, it's it's tough. It's not easy, but like you said, Mike, we need to find a way to have a good start and come out in October and not be behind the 8 ball.
There's always change every year.
Yeah.
How much change do you might anticipate because of what happened this season?
Well, obviously there needs to be change. I think everybody obviously needs to look at themselves and figure out what they're doing and change it. Myself, I mean, obviously whatever I've been doing hasn't been working, and what we've been doing as a team hasn't been working. So all you can really do is focus on yourself and changing yourself, and then I think that's what helps change the culture, change the team, and it starts every day at practice. Your work ethic, coming to the rink ready to compete, ready to get better. I thought at times it was there this year, but like I said, I mean, the best teams, the best players, best organizations, they're you look at them, they're consistently doing it every night, every day, and that's why they're in the playoffs every year. And we need to find a way, as an organization, as a group inside this room, to get out of whatever rut this is. And it's tough. It's a lot easier said than done. I thought, if we talked 10 months ago, I obviously don't think I would be standing in this position. I wouldn't tell you that I would be here. obviously you ask a lot of questions after a year. What could you have done differently? But the Sabres are a great organization. They give you a lot of resources, a lot of things that allow you to take that next step. So I think obviously we all have to look at ourselves, try and change something that we're doing in order to make this team better.
You mentioned all the resources. Are guys too comfortable? Maybe. Like, they just...
I don't want to comment for other people. I think obviously the organization, the team does a lot for us, and I think we're grateful for it. I mean, talking to other guys around the league, I mean, we're very lucky to have owners like we have and play for a team like we do. I mean, the Pagulas do some pretty remarkable things for us as a team, and I mean, I don't think that anybody takes that for granted, but maybe we need to understand how lucky we have it, and how good of an organization, how good of a team this is to play for, and we just have to start making something more of it. I mean, to have the lack of success that we've had, it's honestly it's unacceptable.
Jack, you've referenced Colorado a couple of times this year and hope that you guys can be a team like them next year. How much do you look at a Nathan MacKinnon and put the pressure on yourself to try to help elevate the group the way he clearly has?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great example. It's a team that, were they last in the league last year? They were last, bottom, yeah. They struggled. I mean, I know, Nate pretty well and a couple other guys on the team. It was tough sledding for them last year, and they went through a lot, and obviously I think, coming back this year, they had, a bit of a new mindset. I think they felt refreshed. They were, ready, and, you have some success, you start believing in yourself, you start believing in the process, and, good things can happen, and all of a sudden they find themselves in a playoff spot. So, like you said, obviously, Nate's been a huge part of that, and his play this year, I mean, speaks for itself. One of probably the best players in our league, and the reason that they're in the spot they are, and I look at that as obviously something that I'd like to do. But when you talk about pressure, I think you want to put pressure on yourself to help the team do better, but you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, because then I think it drags you down a little bit, and whether or not that's affected me. I can't say. Obviously, you put pressure on yourself to help the team do well. You put pressure on yourself for yourself to do well. At times, maybe I've put a little too much on myself, and there's a lot of good leaders in this room. There's a lot of good players in this room. So, it's got to come from everyone. And I mean, what? There's obviously opportunities in this league to make jumps like that, and that's a team, that's an organization that we have to look at and say, well, as bad as everything was this year, you can't sit here and feel sorry for yourself, feel sorry for the team. We got to take the next step, and honestly, it starts now. It starts now with your preparation for next season. I mean, 16 teams are going to play in the playoffs, and they're going to play for the next few months, and we're not going to do anything. So. Got to get ready for next season.
Jack, a year ago on this day, you were criticized a bit. A year ago on this day, you were really upset.
Yeah.
You were criticized a bit for how you handled it, I guess. How have you changed in the last year, I guess?
A little more facial hair.
Beyond that.
What was I criticized for last year?
You were giving kind of short answers.
Yeah.
You were
tough day.
Upset.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
You're talking more like a leader, I'd say. How have you changed?
Yeah. Well, I think I've figured out a better way to communicate with you guys for sure. I mean, we talk every day, so we might as well make our relationship a good one. And I think last year I was frustrated, bitter, a bit upset, and not at you guys at all, but at the way things went. I think I probably just didn't handle things the right way, and you look back, that's a year ago. I think I've learned some things. I think I've matured a bit, and as a person. So, am I frustrated now? Yeah. Am I upset about the way things went? Yeah. But it's not a time to sit here and pout and give you guys one-word answers. I think, one, we have to communicate, and we have to communicate a message to our fans, our organization, our city that, as bad as things were, we're going to change it. We're going to change things around here, and it starts with the guys in the room. It starts with me. It starts with Factor. It starts with Risto. It starts with the guys that are leaders, and it's been a tough 3 years, but I'm fully invested in this team, this organization, the city. So I'm here for a while, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the future. I think things will get better, and it starts with me. So I personally, I need to get better, and I think that's one of the ways that I needed to grow up a bit, and I think maybe I've done it over the year. I mean, you guys can attest to that, but I think it's all part of it. It's all part of the process.
Do you want to see, and do you expect to get to see?
You know what? It's really not something I think about. I think whether or not you have a C, A, or nothing, you can always be a leader. You can always bring different things to the table, and for me, I just try and be myself every day. Whether you have a letter on your jersey or not, I think whatever you do, do it. And for me, it's I try and bring a personality to the rink every day. I try and bring passion and work hard, and when there's times to stand up and say something, stand up and say something. But I don't think you need a letter, a C, or an A to do that. I think you should do it out of doing what's right and trying to do the best for this team.
Jack, how do you assess the job that Phil did? He acknowledged back in February that maybe he underestimated how much change or work had to be done with this team.
Yeah.
Where does he stand as far as this going on? It was a frustrating season for him.
You're asking me to comment on our coach. Listen, Phil's done a great job, and for the situation that he was put in, and kind of like what Mike said in terms of getting off to a tough start. I mean, it always makes things a lot more difficult, and we were chasing it the whole year, and never really got things rolling. But I thought he stayed patient with us. I thought he did a good job communicating. I thought it's just like us, he's also learning, and he's only going to get better as a coach. I mean, knows the game. He's a good guy. He gets it. He played. So I mean, it's been good playing for him. You know what I mean? You're playing for one of the best players who's ever played the game. So there's a lot you can learn from, and I think sometimes we take it for granted how well respected and how much he knows about the game, and I think we can continue to learn from him, as he's going to continue to learn from us in terms of, this is his first time being a head coach, and talking with guys around the league, talking with a few guys that have played for Nashville. I mean, they have, great things to say about him, and rightfully so. I mean, he's, for the body of work that we put in this season, I think, you can only credit him for staying patient. I mean, sticking with it. I think, like I said, it's a process, and it's not going to change overnight. And I think he realizes that, and you want to take the next step.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jack. All right, take care, guys.